Well, for many of us, hanging out along our beautiful beaches is one of the best parts of living on the First Coast, and there is a gem out there at the beach preserving all of that history.
And Chris Hoffman is the Executive Director of the Beaches Museum and History Park, and we're here to talk about that. Welcome to First Coast Living.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's good to see you. So this is something that some people may not know about, the museum. Talk about where it's located and what you guys do.
So we are the big two-story yellow building right about at Beach and 3rd Street, and probably the most identifiable part is the train that we have out front in the park. So we always say we're the big yellow building with the train out front. So we're seeing definitely increased attendance, but we do always remind people that's where we are, and please come in for a visit.
The museum's footprint has grown really since you've been there as well. You brought a building in, people may have remembered that, and there's a wedding chapel there as well. And tell a little bit about what goes on at the museum.
Sure. So inside the yellow building, we have a permanent exhibit about the history of our beaches area, and that's from Mayport, Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach, Jacksonville Beach, Ponte Vedra Beach, and Palm Valley. We don't go any further south. We figure St. Augustine has a handle on the history thing. Yeah. So we really try to do the history of our beaches community. So we have a permanent exhibit about those 6 communities, and then we have an exhibit space that we change. So 4 times a year we change between a special history exhibit or an art exhibit. And then upstairs we have a really extensive archives and collections. So historic photos that you see about the beaches, books, newspapers. We have the entire Beaches Leader collection. So we have a huge collection of historic items and documents from
you're seeing some of the pictures there on your screen, and I love seeing those, because if you go to the museum and in a lot of the places at the beach, you can see some of these old pictures. When are we going to get the boardwalk back with the roller coaster?
I don't see that coming anytime soon, but it is definitely one of our most popular. When people come in, you can buy photos from us. The pictures of cars on the beach and pictures with the roller coasters, Ferris wheel, and everything like that are by far the most popular. We have a lot of people around the beaches that still remember those days, and so it's very nostalgic. But also for people who are new to the area, it's neat to see what once was there.
When was the last time that was operating?
So the boardwalk started its decline really in the mid-60s. So it picked up really in the early 1900s. It was the heyday of the beaches, and that's why we decided to focus on it for this exhibit, especially in the summertime. People are coming out to the beach. But it started in the early 1900s, and for people all over the community, you would, from downtown Jacksonville, you get on a train, come out to the beach, spend a day at the beach, and then trek back into town. There wasn't a huge population at the beaches at the time, but this was the place to be. There were dance halls, casinos, bathhouses, which people give us a quizzical look at that one. But really, if you're riding a train in, or maybe you're a sailor at the Navy base, you leave the base in your uniform, you go to a bathhouse, you rent a bathing suit, if you can believe that, lock your stuff up in one of the lockers and use your rental bathing suit all day, and then trade it back in when you're done at the beach.
I remember when I was a reporter, the Beaches Museum had gotten a big donation of just black and white photographs, and they didn't know, well, who are in these photographs and what are these photographs for? So we ran a story asking people to come by the museum and help identify if they knew anybody, and that's when I first saw the picture of people dancing on the boardwalk, and I was like, I didn't know there was a boardwalk where you could dance on. So you can learn so much about the history of Jacksonville, and particularly the lifestyle of the people who used to live at the beach just by coming to the museum. Are you still getting a lot of pictures too?
We are. We are constantly accepting donations from people that we have things found at garage sales, estate sales, or grandma's treasured boxes that they found something that might be interesting to us. So we encourage people to bring those sorts of things in, but our photo collection is definitely the biggest. Cars on the beach is another thing people ask. You hear every now and then, well, parking problem would be solved if we could just park on the beach. That would bring a host of other problems, but it's still a very popular imagery, especially through the decades as you see how the cars changed. But that was a day at the beach. Come park your car, go take part in some of the amusements, and then...
Real quick as we're finishing, you got some events coming up. August 15th, Chapel Concert Series.
We have a wonderful chapel built in 1887 that we use for weddings, special events, and the concert series is a really special thing that we do where we bring in great musicians to the chapel about 10 times a year.
Check it out. Go check them out, folks. You're going to enjoy it. All right. Appreciate you being here. You can learn more visiting beachesmuseum.org.
And all their upcoming events, because you have the famous train day that's coming up, and the kids absolutely love the train day. See, there's a schedule here, and you can check out the schedule as well on their website.